Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. If you're new here to the stream, hey, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being here. If you're returning, thanks so much for being here again. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for being here. If you're new, like I said, it's welcome, and it's a pretty laid back stream. We kind of talk about a lot of things tech, a lot of things that we're working on, a lot of things that we're struggling with, or things we're just generally excited about in tech. I would love it if you would share it in chat, and we'll talk about it. I'll start from the top and work my way down. No hat today. I might put it on later, but it's kind of warm in here. You can kind of see the ceiling fan up there. I'm not going to stick my hand up too far up there. I've done that before on accident, but it's kind of warm in here. Even though it's hey, thank you so much, Ilud. Resub tier 1, 28 months straight. Thank you so much, Ilud. Appreciate it. How's it going, man? I'm definitely going to get into all the events that we're kicking off here in the beginning here in a second. Like I was saying, it's super warm in here, so anyways, and no hat unless it cools off. But anyways, yeah, so welcome to stream. If you want to talk about something, let's talk about it. Let's share. We go roughly an hour, and we start from the top and work our way down. I'll talk about kind of what I've been working on, so it just doesn't bleed into the whole entire stream, but this, man, what do I even start with? Well, as you saw, I mean, I've been working on, my previous video was just getting through like all of my homelab services, things that I'm self-hosting. There's a lot of ideas that came out of there, a lot of comments on that last video, so thank you. A lot of ideas for things I'm gonna self-host, and for things that I had already planned. I've been working on something that's, I think, super cool that I'm gonna try to get wrapped up here soon and get out to you guys. It's I think it's fun, but it solves a problem that I've had for a long time, and it's along the lines of automation. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on, like kind of longer term goals. What I've been working on just this morning was kind of like I didn't even plan to work on it. But yeah, this morning I was trying to clean up some stuff in Kubernetes, and I think I cleaned up too much and took down all of my Postgres databases, and it was not fun. Not fun. I knew what happened. I knew what was going on. I just didn't know how to fix it. Luckily, everyone in the Discord channel, the Kubernetes channel, OneDrop especially, thanks for your help. Devin, yeah, help me through it. I was missing a couple of things I guess I didn't understand about how the restore works. But after adding, you know, a couple properties in the YAML, it all restored back to good, back to yesterday. In the future, though, now my restores will be the last point in time, the last time it checked in, which it checks in quite a bit. So anyways, super awesome, but not fun at the same time. I thought for a minute I was going to have to roll up my sleeves and do a PG restore from a PG dump, like old school restoring database stuff, but fortunately, this Kubernetes operator that I have dumps everything to an S3 bucket, and if you put it into recovery mode, it will go back out to the S3 bucket and replay all of the logs and hydrate your database back to the way it was. That's what should have happened. It didn't happen because I was short a few keys in YAML. Story of my life. Either they're wrong or they're missing. So anyways, so that's kind of what I've been working on. Like I said, I got some longer term stuff. I have some TrueNAS stuff I think I'm going to do tonight. I got to migrate all of my data from one TrueNAS server to another. I'm not sure if I'm just going to pull the disks out and put them in, or if I'm going to do, you know, ZFS restore to another machine over the network. Kind of feel like I just want to take the drives out and put them in the new one, because then I can get my disk shelf out of my rack sooner. Not that I really want it out, but I want to shut it down. That's for sure. Because right now I'm like double power NAS, which is not fun. When you have a lot of drives, it's a lot of my power usage is for hard drives. I'm so ready to get on all flash, but the price hasn't come down enough for me yet. Anyways, so that's what I've been working on, and that's what I'll continue to be working on. You can follow along on Twitter. I usually share it there, but I share it in Discord too, and then I share in Discord from Twitter just in case people don't have Twitter. So anyways, let's get into what you guys are working on, because that's where I get inspired, and that's why I'm here today, is to hear what you guys are working on and not hear me babble. So but anyways, like I said, if you want to share something, throw it in chat, let's talk about it. First, let's go through all the things that happened right before I went live. So I'll go back just a little bit. JK's, I don't know. JJ Kills. I'm going with that. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Mimeo Liquid. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Geeky Rand. Hey, I didn't even see that one. I must have been running downstairs to grab some water or something, or fixing my hair like you usually call me out for. But dude, thank you so much. Gifty Rand. Geeky Rand gifted 5 tier 1 subs. So Sholar, Casso, Towley, Will Swish, and Decapula. That's what I'm going with. Enjoy your gifted sub from Gifty Rand, Geeky Rand. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, dude. How's it going, man? How's the basement going? J-Dive, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Cyber Knight gifted 5 subs, tier 1. Thank you so much, dude. Cyber Knight, appreciate it, man. Andre, Jono Weeby, Shining Candy, Chelsea, I'm going with Chelsea Grow, and I am Real Rock. Enjoy your gifted sub from Cyber Knight. How's it going, man? Haven't seen your name in a while. How you been? Takano resub Prime, 27 months streak. Yeah, a long time, man. How's it going? Takano's here early too. I like it. And then back to iLoot. Thanks again, man. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. Renew. Thank you so much. 28 months, 2 years, 4 months. I can maths today. So anyways, let's get into chat and let's do a couple of things. First, let's see who's here first, and hopefully my lights are actually working the way they should. If not, we'll refund. They're kind of working. I think I know what's going on. Anyways, I need to review that code. I just haven't had the time, but I think I know what's going on. Anyways, so let's see who was here first. I know who was here first because I saw it. So let's answer the question: who was here first? Oh. It was Mafney. I thought it was Xavius D, but it looks like Mafney. I think so. Oh, he was replying. Wait, no. Okay, I see what's going on. See, Twitch does this. It was Xavius D. Because I can't scroll up to the next message because right now on Twitch stream chat, their little banner is covering up the first message, but I saw it was a reply to Xavius D, so I think it was him. So here, I was here at 8:30. Okay, so let's see. Let's hop into chat. Now I can hop up to here and show it on the screen. Let's see. Yakto, how's it going? Introverted Mouse, how's it going? Woot, good evening. Lots of hellos and highs. How you doing? Takano, this is the first one. Oh, Hassman also said hello. Hi, everyone. Let me grab a drink. My throat is pretty dry. It's been pretty cold here, and we've gotten, I don't know, 2 feet of snow, I feel like, this week, at least. I feel like I've been shoveling every day for at least an hour. Anyways, Takano. What's Takano saying? Takano's saying, hey, bought my first CO2 laser last week. Should arrive Tuesday. Ended up going with a cheap K40. Seems good. I don't know anything about laser beams, except for you can shoot them. And I played laser tag before. Other than that, and yeah, that's about all I got. But I have no idea. I know you were talking about this last week. I don't know enough about lasers. I don't even know enough about 3D printers. I feel like they're kind of the opposite, where on 3D printers you're adding material, and with laser beams you're taking away material by burning it. So that's about all I got. But hopefully it's good, man. Hopefully it's good. Salvarius, howdy folks, how's it going? Good to see you. Kind of also did my first cross-country sail all the way to Florida. Nice. So I assume when you say sail, this means either homelab equipment or was this something else? I think it's homelab equipment or leftover equipment from something that you're building or doing. For sure. Let's see. Cyber Knight. DNS on K3S cluster. Is there anything special needed? I have some pods that cannot resolve internal host names intermittently. Not sure if that's an issue or something else. Dig works from all VMs in the cluster. I think I know this one. I run into this quite a bit. So if you're running K3S and a lot of flavors of version, what am I even talking about? If you're running K3S or a lot of different flavors of Kubernetes, the way that they resolve is kind of weird. And I noticed that if you have your search domain turned on for that network or that VLAN or whatever on your flat network, if you have search domain turned on with a search domain and your DHCP, what it's doing inside of the container, if you actually go inside the container and you exec into the container, you'll actually see it. It's actually appending that twice, or it's appending it to everything. So even if you did, like inside the container, you did, NS lookup google.com, it would do an NS lookup on google.com.mydomain.lan or whatever your domain's called. So my suggestion is if you're running Kubernetes, and I think this is only a problem with some of the Alpine images, but it's kind of all over the place. My recommendation is just turn the search domain off on that VLAN, because most likely, I mean, one, you can use fully qualified domain names for your hosts. That'll still work. And two, nothing, I don't think, internally inside of your cluster is really going to refer to something just by that host name only, right? You're either going to refer to it by service name in Kubernetes, fully qualified service name within Kubernetes, or fully qualified name external of Kubernetes. So try that. Turn your search domain off and things will magically work. It took me a long time to figure that out. And I seriously thought like I had to rebuild my cluster once, because every now and then I forget, because I have one VLAN where it's turned off. Well, two now, because I have 2 clusters and 2 VLANs. But every now and then I forget. I'm going through my DHCP. I'm like, why didn't I set the search domain on this subnet? Yeah, turn that on. Boom. Kubernetes is down for the count. So yeah, try that. Let's see. Lessatrine can. All right. Yocto, I feel like I missed something. If I missed something, I see it's in the next one. Yocto, adding managed load balancers to OpenStack. I have credentials for you as well. Awesome. So I think this goes back into last week. I think you were sharing that you were spinning up an open lab. I think creating possibly tenants or a space for people to spin up VMs within your OpenStack cluster, so they can experiment if they don't have the resources to play around with cloud tech or VMs or virtualization in general. And you offered one to me, and hey, yeah, I would love to check it out sometime. But awesome, adding managed load balancers to OpenStack. Then is that for internal services? I assume it is. But yeah. Awesome. I've never used OpenStack, so it would be cool to check it out sometime. It would be cool. But yeah, man, sounds awesome. Lesser Train, this is the full message. Can't stay long today, but hi, and thanks for everything, Tim. Cheers. Hey, no problem at all. Thanks for stopping in, at least for a second, to say hello. Let's see. Stupak, Techno and Tim, setting up proxy and VPN for torrents. Ooh, well now. I was trying to use Podman, had issues for hours, switched to Docker, and it worked. Yeah, I know. So I hear this a lot. Like a lot of people, you know, for whatever reason, they're like, I want to try Podman because it's different and because whatever, lower resources, it's not Docker, you name it. But then they run into weird quirks like this where it's just like, hey, virtual 3x sub, prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. At least the flashing lights are working. I don't think the themes are working right now. But thank you. Appreciate it. Virtual 3x. Virtual X 3x. I'm going with 3x. I don't know if the E is leet speak or not, but appreciate it. Hey, Frank. I'm going with Frank BR. Frankaber. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. But anyways, going back to what I was saying about, what was I saying? Torrent, and you were trying to do it with Podman. Yeah, going back to there, like, I get it. Like, some people want to try something different, or they just want to use something that, you know, has less resources, or it's not Docker, and so they try Podman. I have nothing against Podman. Volkloff, thanks for follow, appreciate it. I have nothing against Podman. I've used it before, and actually Unify actually uses it on every UDM Pro. It's running Podman. That was my first experience with it. But yeah, sometimes, like, you know, the API isn't one-to-one. You find this a lot with a lot of things. Like, a lot of things will say, hey, I'm a drop-in replacement for X. And you think, sweet, you know, lower resources, smaller, it's new hotness, and I'm going to try it. And or different licensing, you name it. And I've run into this myself, not with Podman. I just ran into this myself with MySQL and MariaDB and Ghostblog, you know, and I think it's going to be something that we're going to continue to see, where something claims that they're a drop-in replacement for a certain thing, and then, you know, the certain thing implements a feature that the drop-in replacement doesn't want to implement, and now they fork paths. And hey, Max Stripes, thanks for the follow. And that's exactly what I ran into with MariaDB and MySQL. 99% of the time it's going to work, but Ghostblog has something with it that only works with MySQL now, and so they kind of fork paths, so I had to go back to MySQL. So But yeah, it happens a lot. But glad you got it going. Hopefully your torrents are, Linux distributions. I'm sure they are. Stupac. I'm gonna say Stupac instead of Stupac. It's fun. Xavier's D, Yakto, you still thinking of selling your A6000? How many do you have? Man, Xavier's D is always wheeling and dealing with hardware. He is for sure. He's always in the voice channel. I love it. I can always count on Xavier's D to be in the voice channel on Discord, just streaming by himself sometimes, and I love it. Just trying to hang out. I love it. Geeky Rant, I'm not doing crap today. Hey, that's fine. I don't want to do crap some days too. I've kind of been like that a little bit this week after rushing and working, probably 50, 60 hours plus in the last 2 videos over a 2-week period. I was just like, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't want to do anything. But I need to get back on it, so I took a short break. But I hear you, man. Especially when it comes to I think you're remodeling your basement. That's easy to get a pass on for sure, for sure. But thanks again for the gifted subs, man. Takano also working on designing some water bottles for school's football team, which wants to add some custom engraved ones with the players' names, numbers, and school name. Awesome, man. So you're gonna design, or you're going to take water bottles and then custom engrave them. I like this, man. You are always on it. You were like, I want to do something for school, but I want to do it my way. And so that it's kind of like the carrot and the stick, like where you say, hey, I'll do this for you, but I'm going to do it my way. And so they're like, okay, well, we'll get this thing for free if we do it Takano's way. I like it. He's going somewhere. Takano, he's going places. Cyber Knight, shovel, sanded and salted. I hear you, man. I hear you. I shoveled, haven't sanded, haven't salted. Yeah, it's so I mean, if you're in the Midwest or North especially, or East, or basically anywhere besides California, you're getting a lot of rain. Yeah, we've gotten a ton of snow, and I've been shoveling nonstop, I feel like, and I haven't sanded or salted. I probably should, but I've been pretty good about getting the snow as soon as it comes down before people walk on it so it doesn't form ice. And then we're having some sunny days, and then we got a slow warm up this week, at least here in Minnesota. It's going to be high of like 32, 33, 34, like all week. And that's like perfect. Like I don't want 40s. I don't want 50s because it'll just melt all the snow and cause a flood. But hey, 30s and 40s, that'll melt the snow off my roof. The 2 feet of snow I have on there. And then that'll slowly melt the yard and stuff too. But we're far from winter being over, but still, I need to reduce the snowpack, and this is one way to do it. This slow melt. Salvarius, searching for a good overview on CI/CD that explains the purpose of inner working parts. Hey, I got you soon. Hey, CBN Sandwich, how's it going? Resub, tier 1, 7 months, 7-month string. Hey, 7-month anniversary today. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, 7-month streak on your 7-month anniversary of the sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. How's it going, CBN Sandwich? But Salvarius, I hear you. I've had something like in my backlog, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. But you're asking about the inner working and the parts, trying to put the pieces together so the picture makes sense. I get you. One, I'll try to explain it now. 2, I'll post a diagram in Discord later on. One that I typically use to kind of explain how it works. It's a little bit different when you're deploying infrastructure. So what do I mean by infrastructure? That could be, it could be containers, it could be, load balancers, it could be VMs, it could be anything. It's a little bit different when you do infrastructure versus code, kind of. There's an extra step. And so, yeah, I'll definitely post my diagram, but the way that I kind of do it is that I have a Git repo. Most everything is Git based, so I keep it in a source control. Whether you use Git or not is not important, but you should probably use Git because everyone does, and it's a good, valuable skill to have. But I keep everything in a Git repo, and then I wire up. I'm gonna start waving hands now. I wire up CI and CD to that repo, and that's generally just runners. So think runners. They're just I don't want to say bots, but they're just services standing by. Hey, they're Trobba. I'm probably saying that so wrong. Let me see. There. No, I got to get this right. I'm going with their Chodba. Hey, resub Prime 2 months. Thank you so much. Logged out and back in for the resub message. Howdy, friends. From the outer burbs of Chicago. All right, Chi-Town's in the house. All right, my hometown's not too far from Chi-Town. Close enough to say, I'm an hour from there, hour-ish. But hey, all right, from Chi-Town. How's it going? But yeah, so anyways, you have these runners that do things, that pick up jobs and take jobs. Usually those jobs are defined in like YAML or something. They're defined somewhere, right? And so when you do something, those runners pick up that job and do it. I'm being very vague because they can do anything you want them to. And a lot of people use GitLab for this, or GitHub Actions for this, or Drone, or anything. Think of any CI runner that you're going to host yourself or in the cloud. They're just basically waiting for an action to do something. That action is usually pushed to the Git repo. So they listen for this event on a push, and they're like, hey, I just got a push. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do something. And so what that something is something you define usually in YAML. And that could be, hey, build a Docker container. Most people aren't going to do that unless you're a software developer, unless you want to patch and maintain your own containers, which I do. But it could be, hey, build out this, or hey, build this virtual machine using Terraform, right? And so you could have your Terraform state in there, and Terraform client spins up and says, okay, I just got a request. I'm going to make my remote state match my Terraform state. And that says to like add another VM. And so then it will, it stands up. There's probably a Terraform command that you used. Hand waving, because I haven't done a ton of Terraform yet. A command that you use that does something and applies something and then tells your infrastructure, hey, create this new VM. And then when it sees there's nothing left to do, it shuts down. And so it's that over and over and over again. And you could do anything you want with it. The way I use it for, what am I trying to say? The way I use it the most is for building my code, building a container, and then putting it in Kubernetes. So my flow goes like this. I commit some code, I push it up, then my runner says, hey, I have work to do. I just got a push event. He wakes up, he looks at what he's supposed to run, usually shell scripts or some kind of YAML. He says, hey, I saw every time I wake up, I do this. And this is like, build the code, compile the code, put it in a container, store that container in a registry. And then he says, okay, that step's done. What's my next step? Well, my next step after that is always, okay, now deploy this to Kubernetes. So he says, okay, my next step is deploy to Kubernetes. And then I have, either shell scripts or containers on how to do that. I define how to do that. And he says, okay, kube control, apply this container I just built from this registry to this Kubernetes cluster, and then I'm done. And that's really all it boils down to. So CI/CD could be, they kind of get intermingled. A lot of the CI piece is actually testing or integrating or testing your changes along with the main branch. You can throw that out the window if you don't want to do that and just say CD. But a lot of it is just that. It's commit your code or commit code, config, whatever you want to call it, and then take some action based on that with the runner. I'm oversimplifying it because many people use it in many different ways. I mean, you could configure your firewall if you wanted this way, with Terraform, or not even with that. You could do it with shell scripts. You can have a shell script that SSHs into something that does something, So it's, and then you could schedule that job to just run hourly. I mean, you could do it many different ways. And so it's kind of like choose your own adventure, It really is. It really is. It's just, I have this source code or files, and I want to do stuff every time I push it up to Git. And so that's kind of how it works. And maybe I have pieces of this throughout my whole video. I do plan on doing something with GitHub Actions and GitLab soonish, as soon as I get through a couple more things. But yeah, throw out some ideas of things you're trying to do, and I would love to do that, because I always have this, I always have this software developer cap on a lot of the time when I think of CI and CD, where I write code like for our bots for Discord or Twitter or 100 Days of Homelab website or anything like that, and I need to update something on one of those services that I have, And so I have my software developer hat. So I'm like, okay, commit the code, push it up, tag it, ship it, you know, and 5 minutes later, it's live in production. And so like I sometimes, you know, the infrastructure piece, I guess I miss that a little bit, and I would love to hear some examples. So I love talking about this stuff too. I love it. At work, they know. They're like, yep, Tim, he loves CI/CD. Tim, yep, he loves Kubernetes. Tim, yep, he loves doing front-end software. They've got me pinned. But yeah, it's super fun. I would love to talk more about it. I would love to show. I would love to show too, but maybe soon. I just need to work out the story and a good example of how to do it. Hassman, hey, working on some upgrades for my PC, future server. All right, yeah, this is like my favorite thing to do is like turn an old PC into a server. It's like it's the best because like one, you're building a new PC or upgrading a PC, so you get upgrades here, and then boom, you have another server that you can add to your collection, or maybe it's the first, and it will be more performant than what you could probably buy, especially since you're not putting any money into that thing. But yeah, awesome. Sounds awesome. What are you gonna run? Gonna run TrueNAS, Proxmox, plain old bare metal operating system, and then roll some containers, non-containers. What are you building? Oh yeah, this is you guys talking, but as soon as the replacement comes in, I think you were talking about the A6000. Xavius, Geeky Ran, for me, it's pictures to compile for sale for a home list, for homelab sales. Techno Tim, busy day for me. Gotta get my money. gotta make money. Sorry, eyes aren't working. For the A5000, A6000 GPU for stable diffusion project. You've been talking about this a lot. I need to look into it more. And I owe you an icon for that. They're just, or the reaction for it in Discord, they're a little bit challenging when they're more than one word, but I think I can figure it out. I can write some mediocre code to figure that one out, because that's pretty much all I write. Flick is bad. Do you have any good resource recommendations? Hey, Hactus Dynamics. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you. Let's see, where was I? Flick is bad. Do you have any good resource recommendations on learning about VLANs? I have a big upcoming project at work, and I don't have a ton of knowledge about them. Yeah, I mean, I think good resources. So the resources that I've checked out are ones that help me implement them in my own environment. And so that's highly dependent on the hardware that you have. So I will say, like, if you have similar hardware, if you have pfSense, or if you have a UDM, if you want to learn about VLANs on pfSense, Tom Lawrence, it's going to be your man, because he has lots of stuff on that. If you want to learn about VLANs on say, like UDM, who I learned from was It's My Natural Color on YouTube. IMNC. But I followed his guide a long time ago when he configured VLANs in his environment. It was a 3-part series. Part 3 is the one that actually has the configuration. Anyways, I learned a ton, not only about VLANs, but how to configure my UDM with it. But if you don't have a UDM, there might be nuggets in there, but you might want to look somewhere else. If it's a more general, just like, hey, how do VLANs work? I'm sure Network Chuck has something on it too. I haven't checked lately. I just haven't looked, but I would always recommend Google. Type in like VLANs and see what comes up. And I don't mean just like Google it, but then go to the video tab. Like if you learn by watching and listening, yeah, YouTube is going to be a great resource for it. But those are my 3 channels. If it's pfSense, it's going to be Tom Lawrence. If it's UDM, it's going to be that It's My Natural Color. Also, Craft Computing did one on it too, so there's another one. He did one on UDM and VLANs, and then it's going to be Network Chuck. So. And I guarantee if you type it in, those are going to be the top 3 results on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I mean, what VLANs are doing is helping you virtually segment your network. Instead of subnetting, you could do it with VLANs. I'm not a network engineer or administrator, so you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But what happens is your switch ends up tagging those packets with a certain number, and that's your VLAN. And then devices ports can be assigned that specific VLAN, so that only those packets that are tagged with that VLAN will go to that that port, which means that device will then be on that VLAN. I think that's where a lot of my knowledge runs out. I don't have a ton of networking background. I kind of act like I do at home. And I did do some networking stuff way back in the day, right after tech support, like just configuring switches and stuff like that. Didn't create VLANs myself, but I did assign switch ports VLANs because they were already pre-configured. And plus I was tech support. We had a network administrator who was like, yeah, you guys aren't going to do that. Probably for a good reason, at least for me, because I would have went crazy. But yeah, that's... There's a ton of stuff out there. If you can't find something, ping me in Discord and let's find something good so I can recommend that to people too. But those are my top bets. This looks like a thread, but let me know if I can afford it, if it's something else who would be interested in obtaining a second for the stable diffusion stuff. He's all about stable diffusion stuff. You are all about it, Xavius. I need to learn more about it. Redo Strike, is an old NetApp still useful? Good question. Not sure what the type is, but it's pretty old. Yeah. Mine's pretty old too. So I have a DS4246, I think. I'm terrible at model numbers, but I think I got that one right. Could be wrong. So mine's a DS4246 NetApp disk shelf. It's totally dumb, and it has a special connector. It's like a SFP808 or something to SFP plus whatever. Anyways, not important, but it's a dumb disk shelf for like JBOD, for just a bunch of disks. I can plug disks into it, connect it to a controller, and then any machine that's connected to it can see those disks. So where do they help? Well, they help if you have a lot of disks. If you have a machine that doesn't have enough controllers, or if you have a machine that doesn't have enough power, or if you have power, dongles to plug into all your drives, or if you have a machine that doesn't have a backplane that's big enough, say you have a server that only has, 4 bays for hard drives, and you want to expand that. You don't want to bring up another server and have that on 24/7 just to connect to these drives. You could then get a controller and plug it in, and then it will expand the amount of storage you can have. And so are they still useful? It depends on your use case. I have one. I only have 8 drives in it. I thought for sure by now, 2 years later, I was going to fill the thing up. But it turns out I'm not going to. And I don't think I am anytime soon. Well, I'm going to do it sooner than later. When I was first doing my YouTube stuff, I was doing everything in 1080p. Now I've gone 4K, and it's, that's twice as much, 4 times as much data, roughly. So it's filling up quick. So anyways, it's great for a JBOD. If you want to be able to expand in the future, if you want to run a ton of disks right now, a lot of people started getting it when Chio was super popular, not so popular now, but it was a quick way to get 24 drives connected to a machine, to some compute. On its own, it's very dumb. Zero compute, just has an interface to connect to a card. So. But usefulness is in the eye of the beholder. How about that? Only because, hey, if you have 18 disks and you have no way to connect those 18 disks other than, 5 or 6 different machines, this is the way to go. Something like that, I should say. A disk shelf is maybe the way to go for you, or Stornator, or anything else that has a ton of drives that you can connect. Windsurf. Hi, Tim. Thanks for your super helpful videos. No problems. Greetings from Italy. Hey, yeah, good to see you. Buongiorno. Is that what they say? I'm terrible when it comes to Italian. But how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you. Geeky Rant. I take that back. I'm shopping accessories for the new car being delivered next week. Nice, man. Was this another, is it Volkswagen? I forget the model and make. They're ones that you collect, I think, or have been, fawning over for years. It's VRL. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. But awesome, man. Accessories? What accessories for a car? My interest is piqued. What accessories for a car? When I think accessories for a car, I think like cup holders and stuff like that. I don't know. But I'm sure it's maybe it's something that has rag top, or you're gonna put a different rag top on it. Who knows? Unskilled. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. 4246. Oh yeah, 4246. That's right. That is right. Hactus Dynamics. Hi from First Timer. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, thank you earlier, I think, for the follow. Yeah, it was. Thanks. How's it going? Good to see you. Let's see. Redo strike. Yes, they're still popular if you have caddies or a QSFP cable. That is it. QSFP, like 808 or something weird. But yeah, definitely super helpful if you need a lot of drives. That's what it boils down to. If you need a lot of drives and you don't need compute, I mean, something like that is going to be your best bet. NetApps are super cheap. Well, they were until Chia came along, and now they're still more expensive than when I bought them. But cheaper than they were when Chia was kind of still a thing. So, Windsurf, any news about your work on Galera clusters? Have you made some progress? Oh, yeah, I was just talking about databases this morning. So, Galera clusters, I did go down that path for a little bit. So, what you're probably thinking, what the heck are you talking about? So, hosting databases and creating clusters is generally, for me, it's been hard. It's been hard, whether I do it on a VM, whether I do it in containers, whether I do it in Kubernetes. I will say now that I figured most of it out, the easiest way for me, this sounds crazy, is in Kubernetes. It is. It honestly is. You know, when I tried to create database clusters or replicated, databases on VMs, it was kind of challenging. I had to create my own load balancers. I had to assign it IPs, or I had to bring in Keep Alive D and create a load balancer and do all of this stuff that, I'm not too comfortable doing myself. I mean, I can figure it out. But there have been many times where I didn't configure it right, and one database starts to drift, or they're not communicating, and then everything goes to heck, and I got to start all over. So I've done that a couple times, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this in Kubernetes. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of hard to figure out in the beginning, mainly because I didn't understand how people were doing it in Kubernetes. I get it now. I mean, they're creating a container, and then they're creating a load balancer inside of Kubernetes and creating a service that everything communicates through, and they're creating a primary, and then they're creating secondaries if you have it configured that way, and replication just works, and your service load balancer always points to a primary, or they elect a primary, and things are usually always good. So anyways, that journey, I feel like I was just on it this morning. I was kind of cursing Postgres, not their fault, all mine, my configuration. But I've been on this journey trying to figure out the best way. I feel like right now, what I have right now is almost the best I can do with self-hosting databases, and that's put them in a Kubernetes cluster and let these databases just work. And they do until this morning when I messed something up. They do. And so I'll name them off real quick. But so long story short, I'm not using Galera. I did try to use it, but then I ended up just messing it up again, and I couldn't figure out Galera's, all the stuff they wanted in their chart. And then I kind of went back to the Bitnami ones. I keep going back to the Bitnami ones by VMware. One, because they're good and they're updated, and two, because they have great documentation, and three, because they have a common API for a lot of the things they do. You can depend on a lot of these keys to be there, which is nice, because then you can look at your config for other things, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a little bit off. Anyways, long story short, for MongoDB, I'm using the Bitnami one. For MySQL, I'm using the Bitnami one. For MariaDB, which I'm not using anymore, but I'm using the Bitnami one. But for Postgres, I'm using something different, which is the Cloud Native PG one. So anyways, I do have HA databases. They are running great. If I just strike out this morning for about 5 hours, everything is fantastic. But it was all my fault. And they're fault tolerant. They completely recover. I can shut my whole entire cluster down right now. I'm not going to. Trust me on that one. I can shut it all the way down 100% and power it off and power everything back on. And eventually, I give it about 5, 6, 7 minutes. Everything will come back up as if nothing happened. Well, I'll be missing a lot of logs and metrics, but everything will totally come back up fine. I'll start getting all kinds of alerts saying your service has been restored, like a million of them. I tried Galera for a little bit. It seems awesome, especially because they have built-in backup and stuff like that. But I couldn't grok it. So let's see. Stupak. I got this one. What's the question? Yeah. Okay. So this is going back to the DS4246. Yes. If you're deciding between the 4.3 and the 4.6, the 4.6 does 6 gigabits per second SATA, where the 4.3 does the 3 gigabits per second, but I don't even know if you'll run into any limits with that. I think iLoot has one and it totally works fine. So, I mean, if the price difference between the two is going to be ginormous, I mean, go with the cheaper one, because I doubt you might run into, you know, those any kind of speed constraints when you have that many disks across an array. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. Let's see. Xavius. My guy has those 4 terabyte data center SSDs. I know a guy. I mean, I'm the data hoarder after all. Nice. 4 terabyte sounds awesome. It does sound good, but right now I have 8 terabytes. I have 6. Do I have 6? Oh, I said I had 8 disks earlier. I have 8 terabytes in my current pool. But the one I got from TrueNAS, I have 714 terabytes. So I'm going to be expanding a little bit. I really so wish flash storage would get even cheaper. Super high density flash storage would get cheaper. Mainly because of power. Like, even if I had to spend a little bit more money to have all flash, you know, I would, because the power, it's a lot less power and heat. But I won't pay today's prices. But if you have today's prices, I'd pay that per disk. Because once you start getting up past like 4 terabytes, it's just like redunculous, you know. I mean, there's a huge break, you know, or a huge jump from like, I think 2 to 4, or is it 4 to 6, where it's just like almost twice the cost. And you're like, okay, you know. But I hope that ceiling keeps raising to where that jump pretty soon will be the 14 terabytes is going to be the expensive one, you know, and the 8 will be the one that's priced right. So hopefully that ceiling keeps going up, and it does. I feel like it's artificial supply constraints, and just to keep squeezing money out of older SSDs now, you know, until you know, normal hard drives are obsolete, and now SSDs are what you used to use for normal hard drives, and then everyone else is on NVMe for super fast stuff or for PCs. I feel like they're just trying to squeeze every last drop out of, you know, serial ATA SSDs, for sure. They are, for sure. I would I would if it were my business. I mean, why wouldn't you want to make money? Let's see, Stupak. I connect my Dell 610 and use it to back up my main TrueNAS. Yeah, great use case for it. Great use case for it. iLoot, join our Discord. I'm just reading whatever I see now. Mimeo Liquid, hello, how's it going? Let's see. Trying to get out of the threads. Thunder God, Techno Tim, what I've been working on, 1, replacing batteries in a smaller UPS, like 3 years old. Yeah, awesome. A lot of great deals. There's a lot of aftermarket stuff on like Amazon where you can get batteries super cheap. Yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome. I struggled with some older UPSs for like 5 years. You know, they give me like 2 minutes runtime. And, you know, and I look out on Amazon, and, you know, I could have got a replacement battery for it for like $20. I'm like, really? I've been going through this for years for $20? Like, totally not worth it. But awesome. Okay. All right, let's see. 2, repurposing a Proxmox Windows VM that runs games. I'm not currently planning to do some video game recording for my media server. I'm not currently planning, I assume, to do some video recording for my media server. Awesome. So you're repurposing that VM, Windows VM. Awesome. What's it going to be? What's it going to be if it's no longer a remote gaming machine, which I assume then it has a video card? What are you going to use it for? Flex or something like that? Virtual. What's up, Tim? How's it going? Let's see. Lagman. Finished moving my Plex. Speaking of Plex, finished moving my Plex instance into Docker, running on a more powerful server using your tutorial. Awesome. I just had to do some labels for traffic reverse proxy, and it's good to go. The only thing I need to do now is finish passing a GPU into Docker. Yeah, just that small little detail. Yeah, well, awesome. That's awesome. You have Plex running in Docker. It runs great there. It'll run even better once you get that GPU pass through. I'm sure I have documentation on that. I think I have like 2 versions of it or something somewhere. But awesome. It's a little bit challenging, but should work. I think there's an NVIDIA container toolkit you use. You install that as a container, and then you do a couple more things, and then hand waving and magic, and it just works. And then you run NVIDIA SMI container, which the container then will test and run NVIDIA SMI inside of a container, and then it should output your NVIDIA driver version. And if you see that happen, that means it's working. So awesome. Sounds awesome. Yeah, upgrades for Plex. I'm all for that. Cyber, did you fix your RGB lights for Twitch? Yeah. I mean, the jury's still out on that. Kind of working. Kind of working. I got to see what's up with that. I'll definitely fix it tonight and I'll test because I have some code updating to do after hardware stuff. I have like 3 things to do: code updating, TrueNAS, like figure out my storage stuff and really make the move, and then a little bit of Flux / Kubernetes stuff that I still want to straighten out. It was the thing I was actually trying to accomplish this morning where I took down all my databases. So Mafty does not seem, I apologize. I'll refund all points after this. Dr. Cuddle, how's it going? Trying to add Rook Ceph instead of Longhorn, but storage and Case can really go wrong. I have now experienced. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Pausing until next weekend. We'll try again. Flux CD is screaming at me in Telegram, but let's ignore that for now. LOL. Yeah, I hear you. So I haven't done Rook Ceph. So Rook is a storage class that allows you to use Ceph for storage within Kubernetes. Haven't done it. I've heard a ton about it. Looks awesome, but I haven't done Ceph. I need to learn more Ceph. I think a lot of people always ask about Ceph. I haven't done any Ceph really. Hey, Bunny Hunter, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. But I totally agree. Like storage can go bad really fast. You know, I run Longhorn. It runs great, but I've destroyed Longhorn quite a few times. I have it totally stable now. I have everything working exactly the way I want it to work. But I'm sure there'll be sometime in the future where I'm just like, yeah, let's just change this around and take everything down. So, but awesome. Let me know how that goes, and let me know how you have Ceph configured too, because I mean Ceph is a requirement for Rook, so that you can use it inside of Kubernetes. And so I'm curious how you have that set up. Everyone says that Ceph is complicated. And so I personally have repeated that only because I've heard it, but I've never tried it. So I guess I can't say it's complicated until I try it, because I've just been repeating that for a while. 45 Drives will be the first to tell you it's not complicated. I think they were targeting me for that ad the other day. Well, that video on YouTube. It's like, Ceph is not complicated. I'm like, whew, I thought it was, but I guess I was just repeating what other people said, so I need to start doing it. Let's see. Voklov, hello. Do you try Open GPT AI chat? No, I don't. Maybe I should. I don't know. So I mean, have I tried Chat GPT like in general? Yeah, absolutely. I have done it. I actually used it to write an email to to send somewhere. I won't say where. Just a nice formal email that was stern, asking for my warranty claim, and it worked. It worked. Well, I mean, was it Chat GPT or was it just because I sent it again, or timing? Who knows? All I know is I wanted to send a professional email, just kind of being stern, asking what's going on with my warranty claim. And I asked Chat GPT to do it for me, and it spit one out. I'm like, perfect. Changed 2 words in it, sent it. Next day, they said, it's in the mail. So anyways, I mean, I haven't, I'm not obviously not running it myself, and I have tried it. I think a lot of people have, just to see what it's all about. And I have tried it, and I used it in production in my life, and it actually works. So I don't know. Next time I need some, kind of friendly email written, I might go there instead. But not to friends or anything like that. But a lot of times I have troubles finding words to write an email. Anyways, it wrote a great email for me. That's about it. 18 Wheel Ray, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Good to see you. Killerman TV, Techno Tim, is it worth it, in your opinion, to migrate my Proxmox VMs to clear Linux, or keep them at Debian, or maybe some KVM GUI with clear Linux as bare metal, thinking of running Kubernetes and Longhorn based on your videos? Yeah, this is a great question. So this is going back to, do I go bare metal? This is what it boils down to. If you take out like which operating system, what you're currently doing now, it's, do I virtualize or do I go bare metal? And it's a great question, and there really isn't a wrong answer. So I'll answer this in a way that maybe might help you make a decision. I typically say, like, hey, I usually start from containers, and I say, hey, containerize it if you can. If you can't, then run a virtual machine. If you can't do that, then bare metal last. Where you could probably turn this upside down is if you are going to just do Kubernetes, right? If you're going to do only Kubernetes, like if you're not interested whatsoever in running, another Linux machine, another Linux machine on the same host, or another Windows machine on the same host, or experimenting with those, and you're like, yes, I want this to be a bare metal Kubernetes cluster. That is a great use case, and I think that's kind of what you're hinting at, and a lot of people do that. And so yeah, I think if you plan on just doing that, absolutely do it. And then you could even turn it upside down more by running KubeVirt within Kubernetes. And so what's KubeVirt? So KubeVirt is a way to run KVM or orchestrate KVM within Kubernetes. So you can kind of turn it upside down, and you say everything's bare metal, everything's Kubernetes. And then if I need virtual machines, I'll pull in KubeVirt to run virtual machines, but they'll be managed inside of Kubernetes as a Kubernetes resource. Sound crazy? But yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's up to you and what you want to manage. What do you gain if you do this? Maybe a little performance, but that's even negligible. But what else do you gain? You probably gain some disk space back. You only have to manage one machine versus all these, virtual machines, or this tiered approach where you have, machines inside of machines. But what do you lose out on? You lose out on snapshots, but you're probably going to be backing up your cluster a different way. You lose the ability to, test and run other operating systems on that same machine, unless you go the KubeVirt way, which is totally fine. And a lot of people, shouldn't say a lot, dozens of people have tried. No, there's probably more than dozens. I'm one of them. But it definitely is a paradigm shift of turning it upside down. But then it gets cool, because then it's like, okay, if a majority of your things are Kubernetes or containers, they get to benefit from bare metal. And then if you only have one or two virtual machines, they get virtualized. And so you kind of turn that upside down. Instead of saying, I'm going to virtualize all of my Kubernetes stuff, then you turn it upside down and you say, no, I'm only going to virtualize the things that aren't Kubernetes. And so you're basically saying like, hey, I'm cloud native. That's exactly what you're saying, is like, I'm cloud native now. And if you're not cloud native, I'm going to virtualize you, versus I'm going to virtualize everything for my cloud platform. So yeah, it's sounds it's fun to think about. Like, it's fun to think about. I will soon. That's kind of a little bit of what I'm working on. Some bare metal provisioning stuff, because I think it's fun. 18-wheel Ray, how much did I miss? I'd say almost all of it. Well, I'm just getting to your comments, so I doubt it's almost all of it. So it just depends. Let's see. Stone Cold Coder. More snow on the way. I don't know where you're at, but I don't want any more. I don't want any more. East Coast definitely does not want any more either, for sure. Let's see. If Flick is bad, did you ever end up picking up the IODD device? I did not. So you're probably referring back to my 100 Days of Homelab comment, where I was like, why is it so hard to do freaking ISOs and boot from them on a USB drive? Oh, yeah. So I was struggling the other day. I was trying to get Samsung bootable firmware disk on a USB drive so I can boot from it, just so I can update my machine's Samsung drive's firmware without an OS on it. Like, sounds easy enough, right? No, it is not easy. I tried UNet Bootin, I tried Rufus, I tried Ventoy, and then I think this is where Flick is bad. You were mentioning an IODD device. Didn't try it. Didn't pick one up. But I was almost ready to, because I kind of feel like Ventoy is my version of that. Not as cool, But yeah, it won't. Anyways. So I haven't, I probably should, because what I ended up having to do is install Windows 10 on the device just to flash the firmware to wipe it and put Linux on it. I'm like, this is not how it should be. This is not how it should be. So, but every now and then that's what you have to do. Techno sold a custom engraved wooden sign. That's what I'm going to end up doing with the K40 now. Oh, okay. So your first customer, I was thinking it was homelab. I was thinking it was like technology. No, you sold your first custom engraved wooden sign to someone in Florida. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Photo was done with my school's engraver, but wanted to be able to do them at home. It's a small machine with a bed size 12 by 8 compared to the one at my school, which is 24 by 12. Yeah, school probably has a bigger one. They have a little more funds. Is chat not moving or it's you? Might be you. Might be you. Sometimes the scroll gets a little bit stuck if you scroll up. Cyber Knight, thanks for the DNS answer. Hey, I hope it's that. I bet it's search domains. And one way you can try. Really, I'm going with Relipi. That's what we're going with. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Cyber Knight, again, one way you can try, just to confirm it, even before you change stuff, or to confirm that was the problem, if you change it back, is exec into a container and do an NS lookup on Google. And if you do NS lookup, google.com, hopefully that container image has NS lookup on there, you'll see it'll print out google.com with your search domain appended to the end. And then you'll be like, yep, that's it. And then turn off search domain and it'll magically work. Hey, how's it going? Finally, Blarg, finally, I can resub on Prime on mobile. Took them long enough. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. That whole like mobile app store, 30% Apple, Google thing. Yeah, it's, yeah. I totally get why Twitch and other people do this, because it's like, you know, why pay 30% to go through their app store, whoever it is, Apple or Google, just because someone wants to subscribe or resub using that app. So they'll kick you out to the website to avoid those fees. But yeah, it's crazy. But I appreciate you resubbing. Thank you. Blarg just got done painting the new office. Nice. Just jumping on a while. I get ready to help the in-laws. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. That is awesome. Thanks for hopping in. Just got done painting. That's the second. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about painting, is getting done painting. Makes a right kit. I apologize. I mean, many people are switching from Podman because of licensing issues. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, licensing issues is always one that you could throw in there for sure. And plus, it's a lot lighter weight too. And this is definitely not a knock on Podman. I see this a lot. I mean, it's happening with all of Docker. I will say that. It's almost kind of sad to see. Docker was this huge force. And then people start building out the fully open source, different licensing model of each individual piece. Like Podman took runtime, is taking runtime and running with it. BuildX or Builda or Canico from Google is taking away the build piece from it, so you could build containers inside of not Docker. And all of these different pieces are just taking away parts. And it's kind of sad to see, but at the same time, that's just the way it is. I mean, if people will find a way, if they don't like your product or your licensing, they'll find a way. But yeah, I mean, Docker's still doing great things. They still have Docker Desktop. They still have Docker Hub. I mean, both of which they kind of have a way to monetize it. But, oh yeah, and if you think of just Kubernetes as a whole versus Swarm, I mean, it's like, yeah, I see your Swarm and raise your Kubernetes, and it's just like, boom, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild, but awesome. 18-wheel Ray, 1630. Do I have it wrong? No, I usually, well, it depends on what day it is. I should start at 3 CST. I'm usually a little bit late. Today I was a little more than usually, so I was a little bit late, but I'm going a little bit late, so yeah. Tim starts when he starts, Blarg. That is right. That is right. Around 3 CST. Yeah. Oh, life is life. Got to change my dang name. Therefore, hold up. They're Troba. So Blarg. Wait. Okay. I'm gonna see. Maybe it's the same person now. Oh, let's see. Blade is here. Who left the door open? Oh, Blade. Oh yeah. Casfu Bar Mirror. What's going on there? Rude. You know he's just joking. Salvarius is joking. VirtuX, Lead Speak. All right, Lead Speak indeed. Virtual Alex. Got it. Virtual Alex, I got it. Lead Speak indeed. Virtual Alex. AKA Reckless, which is another Lead Speak. All right, from Discord. All right, so Virtual Alex is Reckless. I got it. I'll connect the dots now. Let's see. Blade. All Linux ISOs, of course. That's right. That is right. That is right. Hey, Gronk Malblood. It's resub. Tier 1. 4 months. 4-month streak. Thank you. Rolling on into 2023. Happy to catch the stream again. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you being here. Thanks for resubbing. Yeah, 2023 is here. Yeah, it's wild. Like, I'm so not used to writing that date yet. Well, I don't even write dates anymore. I'm not used to filling in that form yet on the web. How about that? How about that? So yeah. So okay, guys. I am a little bit over, but I started a little bit late. I'm gonna look real quick for like things that are looking for my attention, or someone wants to ask a specific question. Here we go. Hello, my first speaking. Yeah, this is very timely. It was the next one, anyways. Hello, first time in the channel. Came from your YouTube channel. My request is not too much. If it's not too much, where are we going here? Can you make a YouTube video on K3S on Oracle free tier? Maybe that's really specific. I will say that. I will say this: like, if you are gonna spin up K3S in the cloud, you can do it the same way that I do it, except for you don't need Metal LB. You may or may not. But if you just follow my tutorial, don't install Metal LB, you should be good. Why don't install Metal LB? Because Metal LB simulates a cloud load balancer. And so K3S and a lot of Kubernetes code has code built in to say, hey, when someone requests a load balancer, create it in the cloud. Figure out what cloud you're in, call this API to create a load balancer to expose, you know, my IP publicly. And then the cloud gives you an IP address within their cloud. And so Metal LB does that internally for you because we don't have cloud load balancers at home. Some people might take that back. Some people may have super expensive cloud load balancers, but for the most part, people don't have it, and that's where Metal LB comes in. So if you just follow one of my guides on how to set up K3S, maybe HA K3S, you can do it. Or you can use my Ansible playbook, but that does install Metal LB, so you might have to uninstall afterwards. Anyways, maybe that's super specific. Maybe I can do something like for clouds in general, you know, which would apply to there. So yeah, but thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, you asked me that already. Oh yeah, I'm like going back right into normal mode. Lord Garden Gnome, Happy New Year. Been following your videos. Right now, troubleshooting reverse proxy with traffic. Dashboard shows 404. Also deploying lots of containers. Thanks for the amazing videos. Lord Garden Gnome, no problem at all. That is the #1 problem with traffic, I think, is getting that darn dashboard to show up. And it all boils down to just making sure that your keys match, I guess, the keys that I have in my repo or in documentation or the dashboard. It is tough, but a 404 generally means that the route is not specified, that the route has not been defined. If you see a 500-ish error, that usually means that the route's defined, but the container behind it is not running. That's not the case for you because traffic is running. So it has to be that the route is not defined properly, which for the dashboard, it's super weird because you just turn it on and you say, yes, run. So if you have your YAML to share, throw it in Discord. We could all take a look at it for sure. All right, I'm going to look for new or ones that are specific looking for me, or I'm going to go, that's it. We're good. This one looks like a newer name. Nix NZL. Hey, bro, love your YouTube vids. Just wondering what Proton is that you're running in Proxmox. Oh, Proton, my Proton. So Proton is just... It's a virtual machine in my Proxmox cluster that's actually running a Twitch stream, and it's running OBS, and it has a GPU pass through to it. That's it. It's yeah, just fun stuff. I'll just say that. No, it's running a 24/7 stream on Twitch just for fun and to help raise money for charity. And yeah, it's one of the first reasons why I tried to pass through a GPU through to my virtual machine on Proxmox, was to be able to see if I can run this. And then I wrote a ton of code to be able to orchestrate a ton of stuff. So just like my playground kind of for running bots on Twitch and running OBS programmatically and writing lots and lots of code in Kubernetes to get it to work. So, but yeah, it's not that cool, but I think it's cool because I wrote it. But yeah, anyways, hey guys, hey everyone, I'll say that instead. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you joining in chat. There were lots of follows. There were lots of subs. There were lots of gifted subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the continued support. I appreciate it. And to everyone who gifted a sub to someone else, yeah, thank them for gifting it to you. I appreciate it. Also, thank you so much for hanging around and chatting. If no one chatted, this would be a very boring stream. So I appreciate you being here and asking questions. And not only because it would be a boring stream, because the questions that you ask help me think about, you know, how I either want to change something in my infrastructure or do something new, or think about new ways to teach things to everyone that's out there. So anyways, I appreciate the comments and the questions. It's awesome. It's I can't wait until I can stream, mainly so that you guys can throw questions at me that give me ideas for future stuff. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, hey, I will be back next Saturday here on Twitch. Absolutely. And I should have something out for you this week on YouTube. So I appreciate it. If you want to have more fun, you want to talk some more, you want to chat some more, and you're not a member of our Discord community, you should absolutely join. We're really close to 8,000 members. We have a partner Discord server. I say we because it's a lot of us. It's not all just me, and it's all about tech and homelab and sometimes some other stuff like food and pets and stuff like that. But a lot of tech and a lot of people figuring out a lot of things. If you search, you use our Discord search, you will find the answers to almost everything you could possibly think of, because I think everyone has solved most homelab questions in there. So you should totally join. If you don't know where to get that invite, it should be down below, or use !Discord right there, which Salvarius just did. And yeah, it's on my short links, but it's also Discord GG/TechnoTim, or use my short link, because that will never be wrong, unless it's down like it was this morning because my databases. Anyways, hey, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your Saturday and be good to each other. Take care, folks.